Big warning, I'm about to drop some serious hate when it comes to the Pokemon company because this is absolutely ridiculous, okay? This Pokemon Presents was disgusting. What is up, you guys? Welcome to The Collective. My name is Furman, and in this video, we are going to be talking about Pokemon ZA for the most part. You know, we'll dabble in a couple little things here and there, things that we need to talk about. But for the most part, we're going to be talking about Pokemon ZA because that was the most interesting part of the Pokemon Direct. But before we get into that, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. Alright, let's get into it. So as you guys already know, the Pokemon Direct happened this morning, or yesterday for you guys. And it was kind of just, it was a little bit of the same, kind of what it's always been. They update us on all of the Pokemon games that they've released, all of the apps, because, you know, that's their big money makers, you know, Pokemon Go, all of that stuff. They even gave us an update on that one Pokemon TV show that was on Netflix. I don't even remember what it's called, but we got an update on that, and that was great and all that. But, you know, we did get two announcements that were pretty interesting, actually. Now, obviously, the biggest one being Pokemon Legends ZA, which is a highly anticipated Pokemon game. I mean, we've been waiting for it since it got announced last year, I believe. And we haven't gotten any information on it. We've just been in the dark. But now, luckily, Nintendo, the Pokemon company, dropped a trailer. And, you know, they also dropped the webpage. I mean, really, thank you for this lovely webpage because it gives us a lot more insight on the game itself. Now, obviously, seeing the trailer, you know, it kind of feels like a repeat when it comes to Scarlet and Violet. You know, the game does look a little bit better, but I mean, it kind of just looks like a lot of the same. It just looks very cookie cutter. It looks very plain Jane. I mean, I don't really have much to say when it comes to the scenery, except for I'm a little confused when it comes to it because from the looks of it, it looks like we're just going to be stuck in Lumio City. And Lumio City wasn't necessarily a huge place. I mean, it was one of the biggest places in X and Y, but for whatever reason, they've decided to make Lumio City huge. And so that's what we're going to be in. And it kind of looks like we're going to be confined to it. Now, like I was mentioning earlier, you know, they dropped that awesome website where we got to see this really cool looking map. And I'm going to try to be zooming into a lot of this stuff, but from the looks of it, it looks like the city is massive. You know, hopefully it is extremely interactive, you know. It doesn't make sense for you guys to have a bunch of buildings that you can't interact with. So I'm not asking for it to be Grand Theft Auto where, you know, every door is probably something you can open. But come on, you know, make it something that feels alive. And the way you do that is by having a ton of places to visit. Now, one of the things that scared me the most when it comes to this trailer is the fact that it was talking about having wild areas in the city where you can like catch Pokemon. While that idea sounds intriguing, you know, this map that we're looking at, it doesn't really look like there's many places. Like I can only really see like about 5 or 6 different locations from the looks of it, unless they're planning on making some of these buildings be wild areas. I'm a little confused when it comes to that, but I am also really intrigued. So I think it is going to be kind of interesting, and I can't wait till we're able to play this game. You know, I'm in a really weird place when it comes to Pokemon because I hate the fact that they're going extremely generic. I mean, look at the main characters, you know, the characters you're going to play as. You know, this is the female and the male, and the artwork looks pretty good. You know, it looks up to Pokemon standards, but like the in-game models just look lifeless. They just look so basic that I kind of just hate them. And then you have your guys, which are your rivals, and there are these weird, like, blonde with pink highlights looking dudes or whatever. And, you know, one of them is called Urbane, and the other one's called Townie. Come on, man. Really? Really, Pokemon? I mean, it's not even something that's funny. It's not even something that's creative. This is just lazy. And then another thing, a really odd choice. I don't really know why they decided to do this, but okay. The starter Pokemon that you get is Chikorita, Totodile, and Tepig. And I don't even know how I feel about this, okay? I love the fact that Gen 2 is getting some much needed love. You know, we love to see that. But then why put Tepig instead of my boy Cyndaquil? How dare you? And yes, I get it, you know, he was in the Legends Arceus. But I mean, how are you gonna do my boy dirty like that? And I don't even understand why that one, you know, like, honestly, out of the fire starters.
Okay. You did it though.
Whew, I just had a stroke there. Honestly, out of the fire starters, I kind of would have picked, you know, Charmander or Torchic. I mean, Torchic is freaking awesome. I feel like he would have made sense for the game, but you know, that's just me, whatever. Now, one of the coolest parts of this game is the fact that we get to see the big 9-foot tall giant AZ. I mean, he's back, and he's not just back by himself. He is also accompanied with the Eternal Flower Floette. You know, it was like his best friend in the game or whatever. That's really cool to see, and I love seeing that. I mean, obviously, we have some other characters, you know, we're not really going to get into all of that. But, you know, we're just kind of talking about how interesting this trailer was and how kind of good it looks, but not really. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. Now, one of the things that people have been raving about when it comes to the comment section is the fact that, you know, the combat is going to be a little more updated. It's going to be a little bit more refined. And, you know, this is another thing that kind of blows my mind when it comes to Pokemon fans, because they added this new move. It's a new ability that allows you to walk away from a move that's heading your way. That's basically the thing. That's how they redefined combat in Pokemon Legends AZ. And I know I'm not trying to minimize it, but seriously, guys, this is not as big of a deal as people are making it out to be, okay? And on top of that, what does that mean when it comes to the tables being turned on you? Because, you know, obviously, if you can do it, why wouldn't the challenger be able to do it? I kind of like the idea of it because it feels like it might make combats a little more difficult. But at the same time, I also feel like the NPCs, I feel like they're going to abuse it. And I don't like the idea of that. I'm not a big fan of that at all, actually. Now, one thing we did not get any information on is the fact that whether it's going to be a Switch only game or a Switch 2 game, which I do believe it is going to be on the Switch 2 also. I don't know if it's going to be one of those things where it's like, oh, it's on both consoles, but it gets an upgrade, so it's just a Switch cartridge. And on top of that, you know, we don't know a lot about when it comes to the performance side of things. We don't know what's going to happen, whether this game is going to run kind of like Scarlet and Violet did, or, you know, actually run good, actually have great performance. Now, talking about the wild zones again, I kind of am not a fan of this because I would have liked for it to have been a little bit more open world feeling, and I feel like they've regressed when it comes to that. Like, Pokemon Legends was supposed to be a open world style game, but it's really not. It was really more like kind of like the old school Monster Hunter is, where you get little sections, little chunks of the map or the area, so to speak. And, you know, this is a missed opportunity, especially when it comes to this being a big city. You know, you're not going to be traveling many areas, so why not just make it kind of like that? And we have games like that right now, so I don't understand why. Like, it just feels like the Pokemon Company doesn't know how to ask for help. They feel like they're making good games, which is absolutely ridiculous, because that is not the case. But clearly they're looking at their sales, so they're like, oh, you know, we're doing fine. Like, why don't you ask Monolith Soft? They're excellent at that. They have been raving about the fact that Xenoblade Chronicles X has no loading screens. It has no loading screens whatsoever. It is just a gigantic map, and you can go anywhere. You know, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, for the most part, they have these things too. So I don't really understand why they're not asking for help. I don't get it. I just straight up don't get it. Also, we did see a little bit of Zygarde, or Zygarde, however way you want to pronounce his name, and I got my fingers crossed. I hope that they do kind of a bit of a story side quest mission to get this legendary Pokemon, Because I mean, this Pokemon is kind of cool. I mean, it has different forms. It's got like the little baby version, and then it's got the dog form, the regular version that we know of that looks like a big giant wet snake or whatever, and then the Optimus Prime version. So I hope that we get some type of story mode or some type of quest that, you know, is interesting and it allows you to get this Pokemon in a really cool way. Kind of like what they did with Suicune and, you know, the remakes. That would be awesome. Well, that's about all I have to say about the Legends ZA game. Hopefully it turns out alright. But, you know, pivoting a little bit, Pokemon Champions. That game looks interesting, except for the fact that it's going to be on iOS. And if it's going to be on iOS, then that automatically means that it will be a pay-to-win game. Now, I like the idea of this game. Essentially, what it looks like kind of feels like Pokemon Stadium, but what it was supposed to be. You know, a refined, cooler version of like actual Pokemon battles, like what we have with the stats and all of that stuff. Basically building on what Pokemon was, what Pokemon has always been, which is its battles. Now, we didn't get much information. We just got this little baby trailer, and from the looks of it, it looks really cool. I'm just a little bit scared when it comes to the monetization part of things. I kind of feel like this game is going to be free to play. And if it's free to play, then I will be not downloading it. Because, you know, we're not down with the gotchas. No thank you. We like to keep our money and buy actual video games. Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't wake up early. Like for me, I'd have to wake up at 6 in the morning to watch this thing. And I'm good. I am good. I learned my lesson last year, okay? Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen again. Honestly, with next year being the 30th anniversary, I kind of feel like there's higher chances of us getting those retro Pokemon games. But I'm still not going to wake up early. I'll wake up at my normal time, and, you know, if it happens, awesome. If it doesn't happen, I hate you, Pokemon, and I'll just keep playing the old stuff. But as always, guys, thank you guys for watching. And as always, do not forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. And we will see you guys on the next video. Peace. Zygarde. Zygarde. Engard. Zygarde. That word doesn't make any sense. Alright. Happy Pokemon Day. Woo!